Let's now bring in former chief of the FBI counter-drone unit, D'Amico, who's now a security consultant. Rob, man, a lot has come out and developed since you and I were on air with this breaking news first thing yesterday morning. In New Orleans, you and I were wondering if this guy had acted alone or not. How significant is it that authorities have come out and said they don't believe he was a lone wolf?
Yeah, I think it is significant. I know that the original information that got them looking at that was where ID devices were located in New Orleans. They were looking at the video that had people around those that they thought may have planted those for him. They have supposedly since said those people weren't involved. They interviewed them and they didn't figure that they were involved. But if the subject didn't plant them, then who did? Like, they have to really figure out a timeline. If he was able to plant these devices, go back, get his truck, and then do the deadly run that he did, or was he being helped? So I think they're still keeping that wide aperture open and trying to figure out how those devices got into other places where he may not have been.
Yeah. And we've also learned so much more about this man since yesterday morning, of course. We know a name. It's shocking the fact that he served in our Army from 2007 to 2020. I believe he was deployed to Afghanistan. Where do things go wrong there for someone who was on the front lines for the United States of America to then turning around and doing this to innocent people? How do you become radicalized by ISIS?
Well, I mean, they're very good at it. They take people that want to blame other people, and then they focus them saying that this is the reason you have your problems. And a lot of these groups do that. You look at cults, you look at white supremacy groups. They all want to gather you and whatever problems you're having. And he did start having problems like in the real estate market, losing money, had problems with his family. I think there could be a complex mental health issue. Did the mental health issue come slightly before it, then him get radicalized, or was his mental health issues because he was being radicalized? Because at one point, I think he talked about gathering his family and then murdering his family. That's not a sane, obviously, thought. And then they turned it this way. So how did that develop? They're going to have to really look at all his electronics, all his postings, his social media, if they can get into his phone, get his encrypted apps like Telegram and Discord, and see what he was talking about, and watch that slide from that time he was somewhat normal, where his friends and family say he was, to what happened yesterday.
Yeah, and figure out what in the world went wrong. Some stunning facts coming up about him. Nick was just reporting on the cyber truck that exploded outside the Trump Hotel in Vegas. It is quite interesting that both that vehicle and this pickup truck used in New Orleans were both rented out using the Turo app. I mean, that's an obscure rental app, Rob. What are the chances these two aren't connected?
I think you have to look at how much connected. That Turo app, having that name, will allow the FBI to go look into all these chat groups that they know are out there for ISIS. Has anyone in those chat groups mentioned an easy way to rent a car without as much scrutiny being Turo? Then they can actually say, well, wait a second, ISIS is recommending that they use this app so they don't have to go to a regular rental counter to do that. That would be a clue that they somehow, I don't know about radicalized together, but maybe in the same type of way. They will look to see if there's an actual connection. Like, were they on any of these chat groups together that gave them the same type of idea, or were they just being radicalized at the same time at a coincidence in that? But I still think it's connected to the group, because you look at Germany, as we talked about yesterday.
Yeah,
there was intelligence that ISIS was looking at vehicle attacks. So somehow maybe these two were involved in those chat groups or those other social media events.
Rob, I'm running out of time, so I just have a few seconds left, but I can't let you go without asking you. The Sugar Bowl is now going to be today, just 24 hours later. This is still an ongoing investigation. They still haven't confirmed whether or not there were co-conspirators with him. Are those crowds actually safe to host this game just one day later?
I think they're safe at the Sugar Bowl. Like, that's one thing. Like, that's going to be probably the safest place in the country. But as we talked about yesterday, when you push out the security, the really hardened security, these guys don't go for hard targets.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.